Guard Lieutenant Wolf. You step into my Readier Room, please, and bring a tricorder with you.
Hi, Captain. What do you make of this? I am puzzled, sir. The only detectable bioelectrical symbols are your own. You did not know. I did not.
Hello and welcome to the long-belated The Readier Room, the only and longest-running Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast. Every week, or when we feel like it, we're bringing you an episode of TNG and all the behind-the-scenes stories that go to make that magic happen. My name is Mitchell Mells, Chief Consultant Services Paramount, and with me is my life partner, Brandon Hobbs. Brandon, how we doing?
Doing great, Mitch. You can hear me, right?
Of course. You're just over there. Of course I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, through the headphones, like all professional productions, we wear headphones through the entire podcast.
I keep one headphone on my ear and the other one hanging off, and
right, just in case,
like a DJ.
Right. I just want to address the elephant in the room. We're all thinking about it. It's the anniversary of the day that Alec Baldwin killed that woman. So
it was a woman.
Yeah, it was a woman. I mean, what's a woman, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't tend to think of actors as people, but I mean that's my years of experience talking.
Right. They're more like little chess pieces.
Right. To be maneuvered according to my will.
What chess piece is Alec Baldwin?
Definite.
What kind of chessman?
Definite rook.
Rook is kind of a stupid word, isn't it?
It is. By the way, Patrick Stewart, Bishop. He likes to fancy himself a queen, but he's not.
Rook sounds like it sounds like a retard character in Game of Thrones or something, like a big brute kind of tank guy.
Right.
His name is Rook.
Like, oh, Rook, go plow the fields.
right. like a Hulk kind of deal.
Rook is
smash.
The hero, after he gets captured, has to trick Rook into giving him the key, and he's like, "Oh, Rook, I got a cookie in here." And Rook's like,
Rook like cookie. So what's new with you, Mitch? What's going on?
Did I finish? I think I finished Better Call Saul by the last time we spoke.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I know it's been a couple of weeks, but that was still surprisingly fast.
Well,
And you watched that garbage movie too, didn't you?
Yeah, El Camino, which was fine.
Wait, like the Star Wars planet?
Actually, yeah.
Just a bunch of clones of that guy who got really fat. What's his name?
Aaron Paul. Not to be confused with that guy who died. John Paul? What was his name?
Jake Paul?
No, Paul...
Rudd?
Paul Jackson? What was that guy? He was in Fast. And Furious.
Oh, yeah. What was his name?
Paul something.
Paul Simon.
Paul... Oh, I'm Googling.
That's Better Call Paul.
That's how they made the Beatles. All right. No, this is the fourth one. Paul Walker. That's it.
Paul Walker. There we go.
I'm more of a running man myself. That's why I forgot. But aside from watching and finishing TV series, nothing occurs in my life. So now that Better Call Saul is over, I've just been in a state of homeostasis in my pod, waiting for the show to start so that we could talk.
Sure. Right, yeah. Unfortunately, Matt Walsh hasn't told me what to think this week, so I got nothing either, really.
I didn't know about this until it became a buzzing topic, but I think he puts out a weekly video, or maybe a somewhat frequent video, I don't know, but in one of his various screeds, he showed a tweet by a magic guy, one of the people working on magic, And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because the guy was like, "Oh, this is what was this? It was National Coming Out Day,
Mm-hmm.
and he came out as polyamorous, despite just kind of being like a straight white guy. It's like these are my two girlfriends."
Right.
And of course, Matt Walsh has something to say about that. It's whatever, but everyone's like, "Oh my God, Matt Walsh, he's attacking the magic community."
The magic community. I say they, like this nebulous they, the people who hate Matt Walsh, whatever, I don't really care. They kind of forced his hand in terms of like he had to put out a video kind of like showing his like very old content of when he like worked on a radio show like 20 years ago.
Why did he say the N-word or something?
No, he said something about how like 17-year-old women are fertile or something. I don't know. But he was like vaguely like shock jockish.
Okay.
Just like some random dude on like local radio, which is very funny to me because he like LARPs as this kind of like stoic conservative dude now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very like it feels a lot like a grift.
To me, I don't see how anybody could potentially cancel Matt Walsh by dredging up his old.
No, you can't.
Because unless they come out and they're like, I don't even know what it could be. It's like, oh, Matt Walsh he voted for Bill Clinton. Like, oh, he did a vaguely Democrat thing. That's the only thing that could mark his reputation. Like, not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what is Ben Shapiro gonna fire him?
Right. Nothing like, oh, he's vaguely pedophilic and reactionary, because that's just the audience.
Yeah.
Nobody watches I Am a Woman while simultaneously really minding the fact that somebody is 17 years and 364 days old.
I Am a Woman?
Oh, what is a Freudian slip? Actually, I was waiting for the right time to tell you. I got some important news.
Eat your fucking cookies.
They're white chocolate macadamia.
Oh, you're a disgusting human being.
What part of that? Is it the white chocolate?
It's both, really. I mean, macadamia nuts are fine, but in a cookie, it's like,
It's just like a basic sugar cookie with sweet and hard things in it.
White chocolate's kind of gross to itself, but I mean,
I'm not gonna eat just white chocolate raw dogged.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Yeah,
sure. No, but I mean, like, its presence upsets me.
Okay. Well, don't invite it to your Christmas party then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. So you kind of set me on a little trip earlier. You in our little Readier group chat, you posted a GIF of Denzel Washington from the film Flight.
Yes.
Which is not a film I really have any awareness of, but I was bored, so I'm like, oh, let's go read this Wikipedia page. So I did, and one scene from it seemed compelling. They're like, oh, there's this flight scene where the airplane is upside down. Have you seen this film?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
A long time ago, though.
So I go to watch that on YouTube, and it's kind of cool. Nice little scene. And I read the comments. And the comments, I think people are under the impression that this is a real thing that happened. Like, this is a documentary footage. Let me read some of them to you. This is a lesson on how keeping calm is crucial during emergencies. If both pilots were like the co-pilot, they all would have been dead. Let's see, I gotta scroll, but there's a couple of good ones.
These are all going to be Indian people, aren't they?
I love the maturity of the captain and how he is calm till the last moment. By Akash Sinha.
Yep.
There's one more. Where is it?
I like how always count on the Indians.
I like how the pilot is staying calm and analyzing the situation he's in. Oh, here's another one, but this one seems to be a white guy. Mad respect for him telling Margaret to tell her son she loves him. He was fully aware of what was happening.
This sounds like they got like an assignment from their high school English teacher to post a comment on a YouTube video.
This is the last one that I'm going to highlight, but this is a frequent template of a comment I see all the time, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to ignore the hostess who picked up the kid, put him in his seat, and fastened the seatbelt while the plane was upside down?
Mm.
Do you know how many are we going to ignore, or is no one going to mention X comments I see? It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it's passive. It's bordering on almost passive-aggressive, really.
Right. It's like, no, I watched the video. I didn't ignore it. I fucking saw it.
Right.
You fucking retard. Anyway, I think a large percentage of the population here believes, again, this is documentary footage.
That was a good movie, though. He was drunk a lot. That was a fun
I know you could relate to that.
I related to that.
Now, remember apparently at the end of the film where he confesses to all this and gets clean and goes to a AA program and is sober for a year? Can you relate to that part?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's no.
That's
Listen,
pure fantasy.
It is. I'm itching, just chomping at the bit right now to talk about Black Adam.
Okay. Now, I learned recently that this is not the British sitcom with Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thanks. Anyway, what about it?
Well, first of all, the name's stupid.
Well,
Black
I mean, it's
Adam.
pretty descriptive, if you ask me.
It's Black Adam. When I used to hear, because I remember hearing about this character that no one cares about years before the film. I think The Rock's been trying to play this character for like 10 years or something. But when I first heard the name Black Adam, I thought it was like Tetsuan Adam, like ATOM.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like Black Atom. And I was like, all right. But no, it's just like a guy named Adam. Black Adam.
Is he always black in the comics?
No, that's the thing. He's a white guy. And you're going to love this. There's actually a character that was recently created called White Adam, and he's black.
I mean, that is pretty funny. I do like that. Now, I mean, in a post-Shazam world, I can't really dunk on any superhero name.
You don't like Shazam?
I don't like Shazam.
What about Kazam?
More genie than hero. They're kind of capricious,
But I'm just wondering, what is this gonna bomb? This movie? Because I really hope it does. I'm sick of The Rock.
Well, that's the thing, though. The Rock is a really large box office draw, and it's a superhero movie, so those also tend to do well.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless the lead is a woman.
Yeah, we don't really have any female superhero movies that Disney didn't buy its own tickets for.
What about Wonder Woman?
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman did all right, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like Wonder Woman Animal Farm? What was the name of that?
Animal Farm? What?
What was the name of that? The second Wonder Woman.
Oh, you're an asshole. I do love how you sat there waiting for me to get it too. That one was panned, I think, wasn't it? No one really liked that one.
Like for gold, they sifted it in a river?
Yeah, they did, yeah. It didn't find anything, though.
Dang. They should have panned harder.
I listened to the hell wire that stupid socialist podcast.
The Young Turks.
Not I don't think they're socialists.
I don't know who they are. No. What is the name of that?
Those Cumtown adjacent guys.
Yeah, Chapo?
Chapo, yeah.
See,
hilarious review of that Wonder Woman movie.
Now, was it funny because they're socialists?
Yeah. It's funny because I sympathize politically with them. No, it just sounds like such a bad movie.
Because there's women in it?
Yeah, because there's women in it. I watched
That was my review, actually, of Little Women.
It sucked because there's women in it. It should have just been little.
Well, I thought they'd only have a small role in the picture. That's why I saw it.
It's just a descriptor for the film. Little Women. Still Little Women.
It was the prerogative for the script, but he just couldn't think of a title after that. Anyway, what were you going to say?
Marvel dropped a fucking garbage movie a couple weeks ago.
Shang-Chi?
No, it was on Disney Plus.
Shang-Chi Plus?
Werewolf by Night.
The fuck?
It's called.
Is this based on some pre-existing property?
Yeah. It's a Marvel comic. It's like in the MCU, I guess, or whatever. But its whole conceit is that it's shot in black and white, and it's supposed to evoke the feeling of like an old werewolf movie, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't because it's shot digitally. It looks like trash. It's like 50 minutes, so I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll fucking kill an hour while I'm just not really doing anything at work. Yeah. And it felt like 3 hours. It sucked. And I don't know about you, but when I watch something that I really hate, I go online and like frantically search Google for other reviews to validate my opinion.
No, I never do that.
No?
I only ever autistically read the Wikipedia article of any movie I'm watching, show I'm watching, or album I'm listening to. Okay. Which, by the way...
I need people to validate me.
That gave me several spoilers for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I'd engage in this like terrible game of chicken where I'm like 10 minutes into an episode, and I load up the Wikipedia article on it and start reading the production section.
Sure. And
I wouldn't read the plot, obviously, because I'm not looking to be spoiled, but I do want to learn about it. So, but then it would be like, so-and-so actor was brought in for a cameo in the last 5 seconds after not appearing in however many episodes. Yeah. And it's like, or this actor was their final episode on the show following his character's death at the end. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself?
Right.
So you watched Werewolf in London.
Yeah, I watched Werewolf by Night. Yeah.
So it's like a medieval picture?
Not one of your best. Not one of your best. I just in the off chance that someone who's listening to this really liked it, you're wrong. And I hate you.
Well, you got the receipts, right? You found the reviews to back up your opinion?
Yeah, well, no. So that's the thing. Like, you look up any Disney movie you look up nowadays, there's no scathing reviews anymore. It's just like, it was okay, and they give it like a 60, Yeah.
People, I don't know, I feel like there's enough of a cultural mind guard around the Disney and Marvel properties.
Yeah, it's annoying. And it's really, like, they suck now.
Honey, they always sucked.
They always did, but... No, I mean, I think the first few were okay. I mean, Iron Man was good, and then, leading up to the Avengers, it was kind of novel.
I just want to say that...
But after that...
I know they suck, but despite never seeing any of them.
Yeah.
But I know they're bad.
You've never seen any of them?
No.
That's crazy.
I saw the Sony Spider-Man movies, 20 years ago. However long. But nothing since the start of the MCU.
During our biannual rewatch of the Spider-Man movies.
Coming up again.
They're actually all Sony Spider-Man movies, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sony still owns Spider-Man.
I can't think of a... It's like when someone just owns land. Maybe it's been in their family. And they strike oil on it. And it's like, well, I didn't really do anything for this, but all right. I'll make millions of dollars.
Yeah. So, Yeah, they get to do like everything. Every Spider-Man film that still comes out is all Sony, which is crazy. And I guess it's probably why they were able to get Michael Keaton for that stupid have sex movie. What was it called?
Morb?
Yeah, Morb. Yeah.
Have sex movie. Wait, Michael Keaton was in that?
He was in okay, so he was the bad guy in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
He was the Vulture.
He was the Vulture, yeah.
I remember that because he played Birdman in the Birdman movie. And then he was the Vulture.
He was the Birdman.
Yeah.
Right. And he had like a black daughter or something.
Oh. In the movie?
What's her name? Yeah, in the movie. Not in real life, in the movie.
Zoe Deschanel?
The hell was her name? She was like mad hot. But
American
no, like
McGee?
because the whole plot American McGee.
There's layers to that joke.
Is there?
Yeah, because in I think it was maybe Doctor Strange. He had like a young Latina sidekick whose name was America for some reason.
America, yes, yeah. You're right. Okay, I see the line of thinking. I don't agree with it, but I see it. Yeah, the whole plot of that Spider-Man movie is he's trying to hook up with this really hot chick, and then he just
but her dad's a vulture.
Your dad's a vulture, and then he just bangs Zendaya instead, which is a significant downgrade.
So did in that movie, did Michael Keaton do a lot of roosting?
No, he did a lot of vulching.
Ah, he didn't come home to roost. He's like, he's just like flying circles around Spider-Man for 20 years waiting for him to die. That would be a good way to take it. It's more of like a psychological piece of this guy tormenting Spider-Man, circling above him for days.
That's a great villain, just waiting for like some other dude to kill him. Just sweep in. You call yourself the Vulture, yeah. Come on.
Okay, get this. The Vulture is an opportunist who doesn't commit any crimes himself, but waits for crimes to be committed and then somehow swoops in to get a profit off it.
That's great.
So then
that's great. You know what? Oh man, yeah. Okay, so then
there's no way to like make anything stick on him. He didn't do anything, right?
Sure,
yeah.
Right. Oh, that's great.
They call him the Vulture. No, but I'm sure it was just Michael Keaton with like a mechanical bird suit.
Oh yeah. He was good in that movie, though. I mean,
he's a good actor. Good. I liked when he was Mr. McDonald.
What, in that McDonald's documentary?
Yeah.
Documentary.
I thought that was a bit.
It wasn't a bit.
Just a bit of retardation. That's the thing.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to YouTube and post a comment now.
You don't do the show every week. You lose your wit. You seep into Alzheimer's.
Yes, I very much liked when he made the McDonald's.
You and Indians, man.
Oh God, they won't leave me alone.
Why are you a white woman walking around Calcutta?
That's what it feels like. I know how it feels. Why don't we we got some Star Trek news to talk about, don't we? We got
yes.
that season 3 of Picard.
Oh, that thing.
That we were so unceremoniously kicked out of.
Dejected.
Yeah. They said they didn't need our services anymore, so here we are.
Yeah, well, that's you can get the cheap stuff, the guys with no heart, or you can pay just a little extra and get those that are dedicated to the vision and have been for the we've been over this. But well, the trailer. We got we got the crew back together, the geriatric crew back together. Michael Dorn doesn't remember how to do Worf, which is pretty funny.
We have lore, which I want to say we did like a bit about that.
I think we did, because that's the only way they could bring back Brent Spiner.
Right. So we knew that was gonna happen, 100%. And Moriarty for some reason.
Right, really plunging the depths of what was in TNG.
Is Moriarty that beloved of a character?
Perhaps, but not to Trek fans. More to fans of classic mystery novels.
Sure.
Yeah, I saw that trailer and felt nothing but a mix of disdain and apathy.
Sure.
Nothing about it was exciting. This is gonna make me sound ridiculous. Maybe it's a ridiculous thing to say. I wish they would just shoot it on a stage with a 3-camera setup with terrible lighting and just go back, reminisce about TNG that way. Kind of like how Deep Space Nine did that Tribbles episode with all the production looking like an episode of the original series.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I totally agree. It's it feels nothing like Star Trek when it's all these shaky cam scenes. And
even watching clips from the TNG era movies.
Oh yeah.
Even that just feels off to me.
There's a reason no one likes them.
I thought like the odd numbered ones were good. Don't people say that?
No, the even numbered. You know this. The even numbered of the original series movies are good.
Oh, it's just the original series. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, that means that the first one isn't good.
No, it's okay, but it was definitely no Wrath of Khan.
I can see why audiences might not be interested in a long, dry, slow bit of nothing.
Right. Yeah, it was a little too Trek for like a theatrical film. Khan kind of got it just right, I think.
Had that guy screaming.
Yeah, that one guy.
Khan.
Khan. Yeah.
I've never seen that movie, so I'm always thinking about what the prelude to that was. Does Spock just come up and ask him, who did this? And he says, Khan.
Wait, do you really not know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, Spock dies in front of Kirk.
Oh, wait, and then they went looking for him after that.
Yeah, there was the search for Spock because he, like, I don't know, he was reborn or something. I forget.
That's not what happens to
movie.
Vulcans.
That was a terrible fucking movie. But it's an emotional little scene. It's really good. That Spock death.
I don't know if it's Wrath of Khan, but there's a scene, rather an episode of Voyager that takes place during one of the TOS films.
What?
Yeah, and the setup is that Tuvok served on Sulu on Sulu's ship, because he was a captain at some point, I guess. And at this point in the movie, Sulu's ship has to go rendezvous with Kirk, maybe against orders, and that takes place in the movie. And this part, the episode, is when they're en route to meeting Kirk. And anyway, it's just...
That is retarded.
It aired at the exact same time. It was part of the same anniversary celebration as the Tribbles episode of Deep Space Nine.
Uh-huh.
And that was so much better than this was, both as a standalone episode and as a tribute piece of fan service.
I can imagine, yeah.
In the Voyager one, what they do is, it's like Janeway's going into Tuvok's memories, and that's why this stuff's on camera. So they go back to when they're on the bridge, and the ship's under attack. So there's like a burst of mist of smoke, and then George Takei just steps out of the smoke super dramatically with like a low angle camera on him, and there's like a hero shot that lasts for maybe 3 seconds. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Well, I'm sorry, but like, seriously, Sulu? Who cares?
Yeah, right?
Who gives a shit? And the great thing about George Takei, as he relates to Star Trek, is like, didn't he? What was that movie he was in around the time that like he left Star Trek for a second, got replaced by the Chekhov guy or whatever, and then he's been eternally seething that he didn't get like a bigger role in Star Trek after that.
Wait,
I don't know.
Did he ever make it back to the series?
He did, but it
Okay.
was still kind of like a. I mean, the main guys were Kirk, Spock, and Bones, right? So
I thought it was McCoy.
Bones McCoy,
Oh, okay.
shiver me timbers.
Bones McCoy is the good name for a dog.
Sounds like one of those shitty like point and click PC games.
The continuing adventures of Bones McCoy.
Bones McCoy in. Yeah.
Bones McCoy in A Rough Night Out.
Oh jeez. I got a headline for you.
Okay.
And I despise it when headlines are written like this. And
Is it a question?
well, no, it's not a question. You'll see, but I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that when you look up any kind of like, I don't want to say like nerd media type thing, but that's what it is, right? You know, like sci-fi, fantasy kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
When you look that up, every result you get is like something like Screen Rant
Yeah.
or like fucking Movie Pedos or something like that's written like garbage, and it's just feeding into like the Funko Pop buyer industry kind of thing. But they write their headlines like this all the time. So I'm gonna read it. It says Star Trek confirms, right? Star Trek confirms.
Okay.
As if Star Trek is a living, breathing entity, right? They do this with Star Wars too. Star Wars confirms this, right? So, in this case, we get Star Trek confirms Cisco is returning to the franchise as a god. Huh.
Oh.
How about that? How about that?
Well, that's certainly some piece of news.
Star Trek fans last saw Cisco in the epic finale of Deep Space Nine, but now the fan favorite icon has returned, sent by the prophets on an urgent mission to discover who or what
took the
is
cookie
killing
from
the
the
godlike
cookie jar.
beings of the Star Trek universe.
Wait, so is
Oh.
what is this in? Is this
It's a comic. It's a comic book.
Okay, that's really burying the lead. Cisco returns, but not really. It's fucking James Avery. I don't even know what he's up to these days.
Oh, the Looney Tunes guy?
No, that's it's Eat at Joe's. I have no interest. I love Deep Space Nine. I have absolutely no interest in seeing Cisco return or basically any of those characters.
It's Stardate 2378, and Benjamin Sisko has finally returned from the Bajoran wormhole. Omnipotent, but with every minute his godhood is failing.
Why? What's the point? Is there give me a scene of him having to, reconcile with his son or something. I don't care about him shooting laser beams out of his hands or whatever it is gods
Well, that's
do.
what Star Trek is now. That's what this is now.
Okay. So I think there's a fundamental difference to bringing back Deep Space Nine characters and continuing the story of TNG. Because the conclusion of TNG was very open-ended.
Mm.
They're just going to go on another mission afterwards. But Deep Space Nine, everyone's arc is definitively concluded. And there's just nothing else to do.
Right. The aliens at the casino hit the jackpot.
Right. As they've been trying to do the entire series.
they retired. They retired to Space Miami.
There is Space Miami. There's a whole episode where I think Worf is there on his honeymoon and there's
That's
marital
great.
conflict.
With who? The man who fucked Cisco or whatever?
Yeah, Dax.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
The Man Who Fucked Cisco. That's a James Bond film.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to get into with this. Oh, I wanted to ask, Mirror Universe Cisco,
Yeah.
right? Is he like clean shaven?
Oh, no, I don't think he is. His head is,
Shame.
but not him.
Right.
I mean, they gotta make an episode every week, right? You can't just shave him.
Right.
Now, if that was made today, digitally erase the beard.
Sure.
Oh,
That always looks really good.
Did I tell you about the digital bald cap they used in Better Call Saul?
Mm-mm.
So they had Bryan Cranston make a cameo, and his character is a shaved head.
Cameo in what?
In Better Call Saul.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah.
And he didn't want to shave his head again for like one cameo scene, so they put a bald cap on him and digitally, enhanced it, smoothed it over.
Yeah.
But it just it's distractingly terrible. His head is like perfectly round and spherical, where it wasn't before. It looked like a normal head.
Sure.
And as soon as he pops up on screen after watching like 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, you're like, that's wrong. That's not right.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And of course, the cameo itself didn't serve to add very much. So definitely, it's definitely like a stand and point and tweet kind of moment. Got a few more headlines for you. This is our From the Headlines segment, so that's okay.
Star Trek this is from comicbook.com. Star Trek just introduced a whole new kind of starship.
Jesus Christ. I can't think of anything less exciting than that. Even if that is in like a TV series or a movie and not just a shitty comic book, like, who gives a fuck?
The ship is the Aledo. It is part of a group of Texas-class ships secretly developed by an ambitious Starfleet admiral. What makes the Texas-class ships unique is that they have no crew. The ships are totally autonomous and run by onboard artificial intelligence. That AI proves more than capable of dealing with the Breen threat around Brekka.
Oh, the Breen, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lower decks thing.
I mean, I know what the Breen are. You're in Deep Space Nine.
No. This is a lower. This whole thing is a lower decks thing.
Okay.
It's a lower decks episode.
They had a Deep Space Nine homage on Lower Decks.
Yeah, no, they've homaged pretty much everything. Like that time we saw that character's penis.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
An homage to peni around the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Star Trek. This is from GamerAnt.com, or it could possibly be GamerAnt.com.
That was that with a U?
No, it's you.
Anyway,
Star Trek.
continue.
What aliens are immune to Borg assimilation?
Oh, that's a very exciting question to ask.
All of them? Apparently all of them, because no other species is ever a Borg, right?
Except humans?
Yeah, am I crazy?
Tuvok gets Borged at some point.
Oh, he gets Borged?
Yeah.
Where do they Borg him?
Right in the fucking head. Imagine like being successful. That's it. No. Imagine being successful and you have to field these types of questions about the thing you made. You know, you're just contractually obligated to sit in at a Comic-Con panel, and some guy in a graphic T-shirt comes up to the microphone and says, "So, what types of aliens are immune to the Borging?"
Yeah, I mean it's an issue that's really insidiously crept up over the past, I guess, decade, maybe 15 years. I mean, of course, it started in the 80s, you know, with like the Ninja Turtles and the fucking Terminator action figures and stuff like that. But it's really, really become a problem in the past, like, decade give or take, where everything has to be written so that people can immediately turn it off and go write Wikipedia articles about it. You know, as if everything's a faux documentary.
Right.
It's like no one gives a shit. I mean, no one with like two brain cells to rub together gives a shit.
I saw a critique about the book 1984, which we referenced in that Wonder Woman thing earlier.
We did, yeah. It's a good callback.
Yeah. Where somebody was complaining about the book because it didn't explain how the world was built, like how it came to be the way it was.
No.
Their critique was something along the lines of, I am 100 pages in. Do they ever explain how this world happened, or should I just stop reading?
Right. Do we ever cut to a different perspective in Oceania?
I need a Big Brother POV chapter.
What is Oceania's tax policy?
What's really funny is that in 1984, in the middle section of the book, has that long descriptive passage just talking about world power dynamics.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Which is a lot more prescriptive than you would tend to get in just about any book. But because
pretty much anything, yeah.
It's not literal world building. People just can't deal.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's like they can't. It's not. I don't know. Immersive enough. I don't know. I'd like to know what leads someone down the path that they feel like every piece of fiction needs to have like a rule book they can refer to. You know what I mean?
Right. People are just... There is a trend of authors these days doing that, like exhaustive amounts of world building, and I guess that's just what people want. They want to know how the sewer pipes are connected in a fantasy village.
Right. I guess it's escapist, really, but it can't be healthy. It's kind of stupid. It misses the point. I mean, fiction should have some kind of thematic relevance, not be like a fucking encyclopedia of itself.
Right. Yeah, that's it. A complete absence of any kind of deeper reading or textual stuff. But yeah, it's
right, and it's like for all its faults, I mean, it's something stupid like Harry Potter, at least that even that had some kind of thematic depth, even if it wasn't.
It's funny because with that, I think a lot of the nonsense, meticulous world building came after the fact and was largely criticized.
Totally. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, because that's the kind of thing. It starts off as like a wacky little children's book, and then I don't know who put this brainworm into this woman's head that she needed to like grow with her audience or whatever. Maybe she did. Maybe that was the right choice in terms of making money, right? But it didn't blend well when you go from like, you know, here's Dumbledore's wacky, poodly, shitty gumdrop candies or whatever, and then, you know, you're fighting Wizard Hitler 3 books in, you know, and he's like killing your friend's parents or something.
Did you see the minor... I think I sent it to you, this Percy Jackson thing.
Well, I mean, I know what it is. I know what Percy Jackson is, but what are we talking about here?
So the guy is writing a new Percy Jackson book, which I've never read, but I'm under the impression is for babies, young adults.
Right? Yeah.
And
hey, listen.
And people are a little angry because the new Percy Jackson book is also going to be for, you know, babies and young adults, and they're mad that he's not writing it for them.
Good for him.
Yeah,
good for him. What is this like new? What it was new adult fiction?
I
right?
believe that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite topics to return to.
It's really funny. Jeez.
I was talking to my librarian friend the other day, which is almost a contradiction in terms, but I just asked the question, what do you think of people that primarily read adults, that primarily read young adult fiction? And he said, well, it's better than just reading shitty romance novels and Tom Clancy. And I said, is that your image of adult fiction? And he didn't really have a response to that.
Okay, see, I interpreted that as him saying, like there's a hierarchy where it's like romance novels and Tom Clancy are at the bottom, young adult fiction is above that, and then like real fiction is above that.
Right.
That's not what he was saying.
No. I've come to find that so many people have... It's inextricably linked that novels and genre fiction just are entirely overlapping. They have no conception of a novel that doesn't fit into
like sci-fi fantasy.
Right. Romance and mystery. I like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Right, exactly. Romance, mystery. Yeah. Hilarious. And the thing is, though, genre fiction can be really good. I mean, like Agatha Christie's fucking awesome. You got plenty of sci-fi authors that like write well.
Oh, I hate sci-fi.
You hate sci-fi?
Yeah, in all its forms, but especially television.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, when it's on TV, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
People flying around their stupid gay-ass little spaceships.
Right. It's like, oh, look at them in space. Great.
But yeah, it's it really, and we're gonna come back to this probably 5,000 times before this podcast peters out. But just amazes me that the only conversation around books on the internet that you can find is just it's young adult fiction. It's crazy.
Right. I mean, I guess props to people that are out there reading instead of posting on Book Talk.
I'd prefer Tom Clancy discussion.
I do say I would enjoy if just a bunch of dads came together on Twitter and talked about, whatever the latest Tom Clancy novel was.
A guy saves the president book.
Give me a name of a fictitious Tom Clancy novel. Can you conjure one out of nothing?
What are some that exist? The Hunt for Red October.
Right. I was thinking just more generic terms like Valorborn. Or something ridiculous like that.
Crotch grabber.
There you go. Now, is that like an offensive or a defensive grabbing?
Well, he's the villain. He's Jack Reacher's arch nemesis.
Jack Reacher Rounder.
That's the Office guy, right?
I'm sorry?
Reacher.
No.
Jack Reacher, right? That's the Office guy.
The character?
Well, no, the actor. There's like a TV show, right?
No, it's Tom Cruise. It looks like.
No. There were a few of them. Oh no. Maybe it was the other guy. What's his name? Hold on.
Jason Bourne?
No, it's not Jason Bourne. It's not even a guy.
What is wrong with you?
No, Reacher was Tom Cruise in the movie, but then there's a TV show, and it's Alan Richson?
Are you assuming that I've seen Tom Clancy TV shows?
No, I don't either. I just see them like advertised all over the place.
Well, I don't know what the connection is of Alan Richson and The Office.
Well, there isn't. I just got it mixed up because there's the Office guy plays some dumb Tom Clancy guy.
He does.
I thought it was Jack Reacher.
What is that guy's name? The actor, Jim.
John Krasinski.
Oh yeah, I'll spell that. Well, apparently it's spelled how it sounds. Not a C in sight. All right, I got to see what this movie is because I can see the poster in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
License to Wed? No, that's not it. 13 Hours? The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi?
Stay quiet, or the monster is gonna kill you.
Oh, Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. See, come on, you can see why I got that mixed up.
Yeah, but I will say this. According to the Wikipedia article, it's, quote, based on characters from the fictional Ryanverse.
No.
Which you better believe has its own article.
No.
Yeah. Alright, so...
Ryanverse.
Featuring Jack Ryan and other characters such as John Clark and Domingo Chavez. Oh, The Hunt for Red October is Jack Ryan.
It's a Ryanverse novel?
Yeah. Rainbow
my
Six, Ryanverse.
Rainbow Six is Ryanverse.
Yeah, Dead or Alive. I guess that one had a lot of appeal in Japan.
Command Authority.
Okay, so there's 17 Ryanverse novels, and then post-Clancy Ryanverse novels adds another 19.
Oath of Office, there we go.
There you go. Nice Majora's Mask reference.
These are terrible. Well, these titles: support and defend, full force and effect, under fire. It sounds like things that like fucking operator LARPers shout out when they're running around soccer fields or something.
That is the primary audience for these books. I think my favorite title is Against All Enemies.
The Bear and the Dragon.
Alright, hold on. I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to parse this sentence for me.
Okay.
The son of a Baltimore police detective and a nurse, Ryan is a former U.S. Marine and stockbroker. Da-da-da-da-da. So is this saying that Jack Ryan is a nurse?
Wait. Can you show that to me in text?
Sure. It's kind of a long sentence. There we go. Sending it over now.
Right.
Transmitting.
Just throw it over here. Shit. Hold on. Alright, I got it. That's hilarious. That does make it sound like he's a nurse.
I mean, which is a pretty bold choice for your, operator LARP novel.
A nurse, a former U.S. Marine, and a stockbroker. And a history teacher. Wow.
I used to read, like, a long time ago, I might have been in high school, a shitty series of mystery novels written by, like, some dad, and the lead character was a sports writer / detective hobbyist who would solve murders and such.
Yeah, that is like a fucking like dad LARP, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, he knows baseball statistics and he can solve the crime by dinner time.
Yeah. That just sounds like you.
I read it in my formative years, which had quite the effect.
Right. It's just you. You've been groomed.
My whole life has been leading up to when I finally solved my first murder.
Right. Oh, I wonder who. You don't remember who it was? What it was called?
I don't. I mean, the novels all had these different titles, right? It's just the character that was the same, but I don't remember the name of the character nor the guy. I know he was bald because his picture is on the back. But good luck finding that.
You know who's a creepy looking dude?
Harlan Ellison.
And his face is always on his books. Is fucking Stephen King.
Oh yeah.
He's an unpleasant looking being.
It matches his writing, which is also rather unpleasant to read.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That and this is gonna circle back around, I guess. But that quote from that one writer, I guess.
This is my favorite review of anything in the world.
Right. Where it's
they're
like...
being trained to read Stephen King.
Yeah, exactly. If you read Harry Potter, you're being trained to read Stephen King, and it's so true. It's so true. I don't know how anyone sits through. There are people who read every Stephen King novel, and I don't get it.
that's just time. I mean, it itself is a fairly dense book somehow.
Yeah, and I've never gotten it.
Well, you would enjoy it. There's a scene where all the kids have sex.
But he has his own I'm surprised that they haven't mined Stephen King for a cinematic universe, because he's got one going
That's
strong
true.
over the past few decades.
At the very least, what is it? Dark Tower? Is that it, or something like that?
Something like that. And they did do a movie about that, and it sucked.
Oh, maybe that turned them
Yeah.
off.
That was probably the nail in the coffin.
Oh well, we'll just have to rewatch Misery for the 50th time.
You know, Pet Cemetery sucked.
Yeah, it did.
Uh,
What are the others?
You ever watch a movie? You know what? I didn't know fucking Lawnmower Man was a Stephen King novel or whatever.
It's a short story,
It's a short story. So.
right? And somehow it became a major motion picture,
Now a major motion picture.
right? Technicolor. No, but whenever I rewatch the Godfather series, I always put on Misery as the Godfather 4.
Oh, you know what they say.
The Godfather loves 4. So it's almost been an hour here, but I have some news for you. I got a question of the week going. Unless there's any
Okay.
other happenings that you think are.
No, I guess not. I guess it's time to. It's time to talk about Star Trek.
We've only put it off for 3 weeks, so I think we can bandy together, come up with enough fortitude, testicular fortitude to stomach talking about Trek again. So
I'll do my best.
yeah, maybe you will. So this week's question of the week comes from A.L. Franklin, who asks, Who asks?
Hold
on.
Who asks?
This I'm gonna try to read this. I
Okay.
didn't check this one beforehand. Hello, governors. What's you say about a rip a Ross the old pawnee? Ome? Oin Tregovney in Lancashire will treat you to a full English, I will. Okay, that was the question.
I got full English out of that.
Okay, now what does that mean?
Lancastershire.
Was that a location in the Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. It sounds like he's propositioning us for sex. A full English.
I know a full frontal, right?
Hold on.
Well, I'll bring up Deep L.
I'm looking this up right now. A full English. The beautiful occasion wherein you receive oral, vaginal, and anal sex all in the same evening.
Wait, will you receive it?
I suppose.
I mean, I'm not very good at receiving vaginal sex.
No, I've never done it.
Huh. Well, what was this guy's name? Ale? Strange name. Do you think that's a man's name or a woman's name?
Oh, maybe it is a woman, and that would explain the full English.
Okay. I'm
And
a little more aroused.
Wait. Here's another full English. Unkempt, untrimmed pubic hair.
I don't want that. Is that what they do in England?
Certain sexual procedure only found in obscene circles.
Well, we run in a few of those. Trek itself is a rather obscene circle.
I'm kind of giggling here at the there's an Urban Dictionary entry for the word turding.
Okay. Is that like
which is just
prairie
the
dogging?
act of- No, it's just taking a shit.
I'm turning.
I'm turning. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Do you think that
Get the
answers his question?
Well, I'm gonna. You know what? Here, we'll compromise, and I'm going to buy him a turding mug, and send it all the way to Lancastershire.
All right. And you know, buy two. We'll put one of them in our Patreon giveaway.
Yeah. That's a good idea. So, yeah, if anyone here wants a turding mug, be sure to sign up for the Patreon, second tier.
Yeah. Just a reminder that any of the odd items that we accumulate every week, we always throw one of them into the Patreon giveaway. So, I think we still got one of the Pregnant Troy shirts kicking around in that little bin for our next giveaway.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I threw a beer bottle in there too.
We have an old Frakes bagel.
Here we go. Kissed by the man himself.
Maybe we can give it to the other Captain Kirk.
Yeah, to give to Frakes. And yeah, I think Frakes would recognize it.
Yeah, he'd give it a whiff and
the one that got away.
right.
Well, if you're like Ale Franklin, and you want us to answer your question of the week, send it to us at thereadierroom@gmail.com. So capital T and 2 capital R's, or at the Readier Room on Twitter or on Reddit with the Readier Room. Make sure you send us your question in English this time, and if you do, we'll be able to answer it. So we're gonna take a break. Yeah. We're gonna take a break. Then we'll be back with an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Be back. And we're back. Just in time to talk about Trek. Are you ready to talk about Trek?
We're back. I just want to talk about one more thing here. You know what really bugs me?
Ticks.
When people bring up the legality of something as an argument
on morality.
Yes. You knew it.
Yeah.
You knew it. Oh, it drives me nuts, and you see it every day.
What set you off this time?
I saw some socialist YouTube grifter post on Twitter about how Google Drive is censoring Kanye West videos.
Okay, and it's legal for them to do so. Of course, the
deluge. Right, the deluge of comments that are, well, it's a private business. They can do whatever they want. And it's like, well, yes, they can, but this is a moral argument, not a legal one.
Right. I find that, and no matter who you are, people's willingness to trot that line out depends entirely on what does and does not match their personal politics.
Right, yeah, it's so frustrating.
Nobody is ever consistent or anything. It's just straight up, okay, do I agree with this? Okay, then yeah, of course they can do it. It's fine.
Right. Yeah, well, no, because then you would have to be, part of the corporation itself, I guess. Intrinsically linked to the success of the corporation. Then you would say across the board, well, they're a private company.
Right.
But oh God. Anyway, let's.
Well, we could talk more about the Kanye thing if you want. That's a topic rife with potential.
I haven't really been following it too much.
There's not really much to follow. It's just Kanye West, naming the a certain group of people.
Right, and I guess I can sympathize because we've dealt with that for years. Right,
it's true. It's true. And you don't get to the higher echelons of many, many fields without having to encounter this at some point.
I'm not going to say too much, but I think I can speak for both of us when I say that we've celebrated a Rosh Hashanah probably one too many times.
Right, entirely under duress.
Yes, yeah, it was basically with guns to our heads.
Right. I like my bread leavened, and I refuse to apologize for that.
One of the funniest things to me still remains that who's that actor in American Pie or whatever?
Oh, Justin.
The one who looks like a Jew. And
yeah.
like,
wait, Eugene
Woody
Levy?
Allen thought he was a Jew. I forget what his name is.
Wait, is he like the kid or the dad?
He's the kid.
Oh, what is that guy? You keep talking.
Jason Biggs.
Okay.
And yeah, like Woody Allen, I think it was, thought he was a Jew, and like hired him for something, and then like midway through figured out he wasn't a Jew.
Did he fire him?
No, but have you seen Jason Biggs in anything else?
Other than American Pie, no.
Right. So
Once it came out, it was the blackball.
right. He looks very Jewish.
He does. Maybe he played that card for knowingly.
Maybe. Well, he didn't though, because the story goes that like they were talking about like again Rosh Hashanah or something, and Jason Biggs was like, "Oh no, I'm not Jewish."
The fool.
Right. And yep, there went his career.
I remember an interview where Norm Macdonald was under the distinct impression that he's never been invited on Curb Your Enthusiasm because he was not of a certain persuasion. But now I think it's more because he's not alive.
Right, that could have something to do with it.
I
think he would appreciate if they. I think he would appreciate if they dug his corpse up and paraded it around on an episode of Curb.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say in the street on like a burning pyre.
Weird.
So apparently, and I just had to look this up, Jason Biggs starred on Broadway a decade ago.
Wow.
Kind of weird.
Jason Biggs should get together with Jason Smalls.
And what would be the result?
I don't know. They'd be like a normal sized person.
Jason Mid. He also played the cowbell in a rock supergroup consisting of members of the Dave Matthews Band, the Bare Naked Ladies, some bands nobody has ever heard of, and Jason Biggs.
So he's like the fat guy in James Rolfe's band.
Yes. Probably just as talented.
And just as Jewish.
Hey, you don't know. Maybe that guy's Jewish. Can you call somebody a Jew? Is that offensive?
It's kind of. I feel like it's crossing the line.
All right. Well, now what about the term Jewy?
He's kind of Jewy.
Right.
The thing about obese people, though, is that once they get obese enough, you can't tell, whether they're Jewish or Gentiles.
Right. Gentile's such a funny word. I gotta call more people Gentiles.
Right, you fucking Gentile.
Especially in Japan. My hit rate would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any resentment? So you know how Jewishness is passed down via the mother, right? You're familiar with this? I didn't make this up.
I've definitely heard this before, but I had forgotten until you just brought it up.
Okay, well, it's a thing. It's matriarchal. But anyway, imagine a scenario of this Jewish guy. His mom's Jewish. He goes and shares a bed with a Gentile and produces offspring. And he raises them Jewish. And they get really devoted to their faith, and then they find out, wait, my mom's not Jewish, so I'm not Jewish, but I'm really into this Jewish thing. And, that maybe it's like a coming-of-age story. I haven't really thought it out that much, but there's something there.
My immediate thought here is, what a way to protect your quote-unquote heritage from invading male populations who rape your women.
No matter
what I mean?
No matter who has sex with them, the offspring will be Jewish.
Right, exactly. Right. It's almost
that's why their music career was so successful.
It's almost like an ideological kind of rape. Really, you know what I mean? Of,
Don't
the
say
children
that around the
themselves.
synagogue.
It is impressive, though, isn't it? Someone actually sat down and thought that, and that's exactly why they thought it. They're like, if my daughter has sex
Oh, God.
with a fucking Gentile, and, you know, they're scribbling like, you know, 100%.
That's the thing, though. It's kind of like the get around for that old screed of like nothing more cucks than raising a daughter. It's like, yeah,
Yes,
well,
yeah,
I
exactly.
have the last laugh because
You're
when...
right. You're right. That's exactly what it is. That's totally what it's for. In fact, you know what? What do you call it? What is that called? Like the inheritance of being Jewish. What is that?
I don't know if there's a word for that. Genealogy?
We're doing this live. Matrilineal descent.
Okay.
Jewish matrilineal descent. Misogyny.
Is this the diaspora? The zeitgeist?
I am shocked. I'm shocked that it's not immediately available, like an article about how Jewish matrilineal descent is like a symptom of misogyny.
Well, you know, who's going to publish that?
Yeah, I guess. When you look at all the publishers, of course.
Takes a lot of guts to take a swing at the big J.
All right. Anyway, let's get off this
You
topic.
take a swing you best not miss. All right, I want you to be very careful whenever you're saying the name of this episode. Clues.
Clues. I don't get it. Clues.
Make sure you really nail the first consonant there, and not confuse it.
With a J.
It's the joke.
Don't come at me for that.
What? You
Don't come at me for that.
A little slow. I had to put you on course.
All right, clues.
Clues. The bluest episode.
Blues Clues. It was okay.
I thought the last 5-7 minutes were very stupid.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure that you thought the exact same thing I did, where it's sort of like it begs a lot of questions. Foremost being, why does this alien race sort of capitulate so readily to the Enterprise?
Yeah, that was it. There's really no argument made other than Picard saying, "Wait, please."
Yeah. Right.
And then they're like, "Okay, he just failed before, but whatever."
Well, I guess we'll just waste our time again.
Right.
You are most worthy. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, we ran out of time. Better cram all this in.
What's the one trait about this race is that they're incredibly xenophobic. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll trust you guys,
Yeah.
you aliens.
Right. Oh my god, yes. And the scene where he turns to Data and he's like, I order you to not tell anyone. And then he looks back at the alien and he's like, that was that.
I wish if it actually played out in an intelligent way, and after the entire negotiation, the aliens like, we did this word for word 2 days ago, whatever it is. Because why would it be any different? Picard has no memory of this.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
that
you
whole
know,
thing was dumb.
The issue also remains too that any smart person in Picard's position would say to Data, or I guess would urge Data to kind of prod the rest of the crew well away from being this suspicious about the issue. Like the way Data goes about all this is extremely unintelligent.
Right.
For
And
him.
the moment somebody starts questioning, he basically says, "I cannot say."
He puts on his lore face and like Yeah. The music swells.
It's a shame because the core idea of Data hiding something has potential to it to be interesting.
It's also like uniquely scary too.
Right. And that is not as played up as it could have or should have been.
No, especially something like this too. It should have been. I think first of all, the obfuscation of the whole like Enterprise having met an alien race that would have destroyed them otherwise. I think it's a little. It's not terrible, but I also don't think it's a very satisfying conclusion to a mystery like this.
No. And the gravity of the situation isn't really described accurately.
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise is on the brink of being destroyed. This alien species is insanely powerful, and this very same thing could play out again. There's just a lot of room for consequences, and at the end, Picard is just like, "All right, places, people, we gotta set a mystery." Thousands of people almost died, children.
And you know, almost ironically, what could have made this episode maybe slightly better is if they maybe cut like 5 to 10 minutes of the mystery bit and then shown the process of them having to hide their own tracks. You know what I mean?
That would have been interesting.
You know, them going around the ship and like being like, oh, you know, like, no, we got to fix this because it's gonna, you know, it's gonna alert us to something being wrong or whatever.
Right. There also could have
montage.
been a way to show them, I don't know, growing or changing, whatever they did differently this time to stop it being detected again.
Yeah, anything like that where it's like, yes, you know, you as the audience can feel like, oh yeah, we're doing it right this time.
Right.
You know, instead of just being like, all right, let's go, and then cut.
And the whole, I don't want to say motif or theme, but this concept of humans liking mysteries and following clues is so half-baked that, but it appears at the very beginning, it bookends the episode, and
it does.
It feels like it should be better than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really nothing in its current state.
Yeah, I mean, it's not saying a whole lot. There's none of the crew really learns anything from this.
No, and the idea of human curiosity is kind of the foundation of Star Trek, that it doesn't add anything to the series.
Sure.
He might as well have said, you know, we are humans, we boldly go where no one has gone before.
we boldly go. We boldly flee.
We boldly came back to your planet. You must understand.
It really is a shame. I mean, I guess we might as well just like start talking about it chronologically because I've got a lot to say at very disparate parts of this episode, I think.
So it starts out with them waking up, right?
Well, no. Well, it starts out.
No, that's like 15 minutes in the episode. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. What the fuck? I do want to note they're passing through. I think this is where it takes place. The Ngame Nebula.
Right.
Which is of immense significance to us personally. And the entire crew.
I never knew it as Ngame.
Well, no. Right. It's a corruption of Endgame, which is it was a little game that we used to play during downtime on set. Just having fun. We take turns throwing pencils at LeVar while we shouted the N-word, right?
Right.
And once we got in his attention, we had to go run and pick the pencil up. And whoever got it closest to him and managed to get it back would win, right? And I remember Brent took a very, very special liking to this game.
He was good at it too.
He was very good at it. Yeah. He was top tier. He was always at the top of the scoreboards.
I remember the loser, or whoever finished last, I should say, was always the one that had to go out and buy more pencils.
Right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. I've definitely felt the pain of having to do that.
The thing
That was during the great pencil shortage too.
right, but it was kind of a balancing mechanic because you could buy whatever pencil you felt the most comfortable throwing. Now,
That's true.
I know Brent, he liked his number 2s, but I always got the number 5 pencils because to me they were a little more aerodynamic.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it wasn't. There was no like hard rule that it needed to be. The old wooden pencil. Some people brought ballpoints.
Right.
Mechanicals.
Yeah,
So,
I used the mechanical one time, and it took out LeVar's eye that he really needed to use the visor for a week.
right. Yeah, those were rough times.
So the whole episode takes place in the Nagame Nebula.
The Nagame Nebula. Yeah. I think. But we get one of the most striking scenes of this episode right at the beginning, and I think it starts this episode. The scene of what's it called in universe?
I don't remember.
Makbara, right?
What is
the
it?
Makbara, the karate, the Makbara class.
Oh yes, God. See, here's the thing. I was prepared to do the episode last week, and now I'm just surviving on my memory and my notes.
Right.
So yeah,
sorry.
That was great. A little like martial arts class led by Worf, right?
Yeah.
Not that easy to get together given the amount of fucking. So the effort versus the amount of time it's on camera. It's like a 2-second shot, but getting everybody to agree to film that was awful. Frakes in particular did not want to do it.
Yeah.
Once he saw the moves that he would have to mimic, he said, "It's gay. It's gay. I can't do it. It's gay." And, no one really budged because we're used to dealing with Frakes at this point. And he said, well, Riker would think it's gay. And he wouldn't do it. And that was a pretty good argument, I think. I mean, it's a little invoking the method a little bit. But then Michael stepped in. And he's like, oh, well, Worf would beat up Riker and make him join the class. And then Brent came in, and Brent says, well, Data would be obligated to subdue Worf. And at that point, Frakes was gathering steam. He thought he won. Because, he had Data on his side. Data's stronger than Worf canonically, as we see oftentimes. But I don't exactly remember what happened next, but Marina just jumped in and shouted, "Force field!" And everyone kind of stopped arguing. But John, he joined the scene after that.
That got him.
I think he realized just what a diva he was being.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, Frakes this episode was I mean, he had a few problems, didn't he? Because we had this karate scene, and then of course we have Dixon Hill. We have a Dixon Hill scene.
I don't know if I'd say this was a problem of Frakes. It was more of an innovation in terms of preparation, because we gave the actors get the scripts pretty early before shooting starts, and Frakes saw the Dixon Hill scene at the beginning, and then he said he didn't read the rest of the script, which, I'll be honest, smart move.
I mean, from a certain point of view, sure. And one would think, in any other Dixon Hill episode, I think this would have been a great move, really.
Like the one with Lawrence Tierney.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly that kind of episode.
Another man famed for never reading a script in his life.
And for always looking like he's going to spill like soup on his shirt. Dixon Hill, my God. I have some trouble remembering, because there's 200 episodes of this garbage show. Yeah. I have some trouble remembering where episodes are going to go. And I saw Dixon Hill this time, and I was about to check out personally.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Nothing good follows a holodeck scene, let alone a Dixon Hill holodeck scene.
Well, not necessarily, because that Barclay episode where
okay.
But yeah, Dixon Hill, and then we have like sexy Guinan.
Also a contradiction in terms.
um.
There was one funny moment in this scene, though.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. The
Okay.
hands up.
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay.
at some point, Guinan walks in the office, and Dixon Hill is being held up by a criminal, and obviously the whole scene is really alien to Guinan, and
Right.
Picard has his hands up, and he kind of turns to her and like pokes his hands up to gesture for her to do it too. And when she puts her hands up, she's constantly waving them up and down because that's what Picard did in the moment he was signaling to her.
Sure.
She has no idea what the gesture means.
Yeah, that's cute, I guess.
It was funny.
My problem here is didn't she like hang out with Mark Twain or something? Like why is she's like she can't be that culturally ignorant if she hung out with Mark Twain.
This is true. Which means
Right?
that at some point in her life, Guinan was called the N-word.
100%. And on that note, I wanted to say it's very funny that doesn't Picard call her his like cousin or something?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. And that was entirely intentional. Given the time period, that was meant to be like a haha kind of thing. You couldn't do that nowadays. That's what they all say.
Right. You couldn't even
This
name a
time it's
character
true.
Dixon Hill these days.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Now, you could have went with the prototype name, Dixon Vagina.
Cox and Mountain.
Eats, shoots, and leaves. So
all right, where do we
Picard's
go from
called
here?
away to the bridge, and this is where the conflict is introduced. That they notice the world inside of the nebula. Right?
Yeah. They go through a wormhole and they get knocked out.
No, I think
And,
they pick up a planet on the scans.
You're right. They pick up a planet. It's a Class M, right?
Right. It's a
And-
Class N planet.
They get knocked out. Then they get knocked out, right?
Yeah. And then
And
Data revives Picard.
right. We get we had all the cast kind of sprawled out on the floor, and I did want to point this out because you can see it in the light really well. This is the first episode where makeup really got the highlighting down on Picard's head veins,
Right.
and just the way the light reflects on it here is really good. But
It's like a
Yeah,
map
so-
of the nation's rivers.
it's beautiful. Data gets them up, and he tells them that they've only been out for what, 30 seconds.
Maybe like 15 minutes, but insignificant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And
And,
everyone accepts this. Picard's like, "Oh, what about the planet?" And Data says, "I think it'd be safer to send a probe."
Right. Well, at first we were going all around the ship, and it made, like he calls Crusher, right?
Right.
And I guess so it's established that we know that everyone was knocked out. Right?
Yes, and it also establishes that Crusher is in this episode, so she can raise a stink about her fucking plants later.
Sure. Right. Also establishes that O'Brien is here for the fan service, of
Right.
course.
Well, that kind of bit us in the ass because the scene was O'Brien and Crusher, and we
Mhm.
quickly learned that putting O'Brien alone with any of the attractive female actresses, or just actresses, I guess, really enraged his budding fan base.
It drew a lot of ire.
Irish?
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking like, what can I do with that? But a little known fact: we got a little reference in this scene actually. He's talking about Keiko introducing him to like what botany,
Ouroboros?
botany, right?
Yeah.
He's planting stuff, but he says, everything I touch seems to turn brown, wither away, right? sly reference to a little-known historical fact called the Irish potato famine. I don't know if you've heard about this, Mitch.
I was there. I'm very old. That was when the potatoes didn't have enough to eat.
What? What is this? What are you doing to me?
What do you mean? I'm not doing anything.
All right. Don't just throw notes at me in the middle of the fucking podcast, Mitch.
Look, I'll throw notes, notebooks,
Stop.
or memos at you.
Stop it.
I'm like a stationery store, one that doesn't move.
You're not getting them anywhere near me. You're not getting them anywhere near you. Like, I see you. You keep throwing them. Like, they're not...
Look, when I develop my technique of geometry, angles, bouncing around the corner, you'll come to regret your words and deeds.
Well, try a paper airplane next time, huh?
Yeah? Try a paper tiger next time. Anyway, I did. You'll find on one of the crumbled notes I sent you the name Keiko O'Brien written in Japanese.
I hate you so much. That's what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That's bad. All right, anyway. Jeez, this episode.
And then Crusher notices her plants have gone amiss.
Yeah, her plants. And she blames the Asian woman.
Right, as we're all wont to do.
Mm-hmm.
But she does inevitably bring this to Picard. She says, "Mr. Picard, Captain Jean, I got a minor mystery on my hands." And despite what you might be thinking, or we all might be thinking, and what the earlier versions of the script had alluded to, the minor mystery has nothing to do with Wesley, nor his rapid onset puberty.
Sure, right. Which, funny enough, there was an inkling of an idea here. But,
no, instead we got, clues, Blue's Clues.
It's about, what has she got, plants?
Yeah, my plants have grown 24 hours worth of growth in the 15 seconds that I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with that, Jean?
And funny enough, they managed to kind of intercept any sort of like nerd criticisms, like, oh, what if she sourced these plants from different areas or something?
There's a lot of that going on in this episode, deflecting the premature deflecting of the nerd criticism.
right.
Which makes me think that some of the writers had really bad experiences with some of their science in the other episodes. Just they don't want that deluge of letters again.
Right. I don't think there's any fish here, though, right?
Not
no
that
fish?
I saw.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
But trust me, I couldn't remember what scene opens the episode, but I do remember the presence or lack thereof of fish.
Well, usually it's pretty outstanding.
Well, I mean, they're in the tanks, nor can they stand, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
They're spiky, though.
Oh, they're just wedged onto something? They retain their shape?
What?
When somebody referred to me as outstanding in my field, I had no idea that they were spying on me out in the cornfield.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is that from like a joke book?
No, that's it's the extent that my mind isn't some, outdated joke book. Yes. But that could be one of those, 101 jokes for babies.
100%, yeah. Or like a Minecraft joke book.
Right. Yeah, Steve is outstanding in his field. I think he's farming out there.
Did you did you hear about the Minecraft player who was outstanding in his field? He was destroyed.
Now, are the Minecraft joke books also the ones that regularly descend into fart jokes? Parping.
Probably. Yeah, there's probably like some amount of parp.
What happened when the creeper had a lot of gas? He exploded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's definitely in there.
Oh, you know us, couple 60-plus-year-old Minecraft aficionados.
And fart joke lovers.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Of course.
that's timeless.
Right.
I like to think of myself as time full. I'm only pertinent to very specific moments in history.
Mm-hmm. It's very timeful of you.
Every day I go out and do the timeful.
To do the time. Whenever someone says the N-word near me, I turn to them and say, "That's very timeful of you."
Wrong place, wrong timeful. The plants. The plants.
Where do we go? The plants. Yeah, and they send a probe, and the probe comes back.
And it's got an image of the wrong planet.
Sure.
That's taken from the databases of the Enterprise. So instantly there's a mystery afoot. And because human beings love clues, they need to investigate.
I just want to point out that the phrase minor mystery is used 4 times in this script.
Yeah, it's once was too much. I think that's why it stuck with me so much.
Right.
As if that's just a set phrase that people refer to.
Sure.
I had a minor mystery the other day. Somebody ate my lunch. Turns out it was me.
That's basically the plot of this episode.
Yeah, I guess it is, straight up. And that's why I love it so much.
That's why we love it.
That's why
that's why we bought the possessed.
The what?
The what?
The possessed what?
The possessed Troy Funko Pop.
Ah, yeah. Wouldn't you know it? It looks just like the regular Troy Funko Pop. I guess less pregnant.
Slightly darker eyes.
Right. It doesn't talk, but if it could, it would have a deeper voice.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually, fun fact, Marina's natural register.
Right. I think she really appreciated being able to relax with her normal voice for once on set.
Yeah, which is something we don't give her enough credit for. I mean, throughout pretty much the entire show, she's basically falsettoing the entire thing.
I remember she had to go through a lot of voice training before the series started.
And she had to shave her whole body pretty much every day.
Right. You know, well, you know, that's a story best kept for another time. Nah, I'm not ready to go public with that one yet. Marina would kill me.
Oh.
So, we got a minor mystery on our hands.
So we're amassing minor mysteries here.
Right, there's the minor mystery of the plants, the minor mystery of the forged probe files.
You know what's fascinating?
What's that? Not this?
Guinan is not in this episode at all after.
That is amazing. What was the
The
point?
intro. And you know why she's not?
Why is that? Couldn't afford
Because
her?
she would be able to solve this immediately.
I mean, it's not insane to think that she is included in their abilities to mess with the minds of living beings.
Yeah, but she's so far above everyone else in terms of consciousness.
Sure, I guess it's like if Q were to fall prey to this.
Sure. Yeah. You get a million letters like, wow.
All right, we need to have a running count of how many problems that the Enterprise, walks into could just be solved if Guinan came to the bridge.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, that's gonna depress me.
The number's a lot higher than the number of problems Troy could fix. I'll tell you that.
Which is, what, like 1?
Yeah, I think we had 1.
If Picard needs to know that someone is angry.
I like the idea of them encountering a Klingon ship, and they're just doing their basic Klingon yelling and whatnot. And Picard mutes the screen. He's like, "Troy, what do you think?"
It's a Klingon captain. He's like red in the face and like spitting all over himself.
Troy's just,
Counselor,
flipping through a magazine or something. Yeah, I think he's angry.
It's like a Newgrounds animation. All right, where the hell are we? You know what? This is all a fucking blur, isn't it?
It's all a minor mystery, really. Because
there's a lot of walking around rooms and Data being shifty.
Uh-huh.
And
is this a
Picard kind of just like
episode?
Doing the white man smile.
Yeah,
it's certainly a bottle episode.
The what? Is it like the white man's burden?
The white people smile.
What is that? If I Google this, will I get it?
Yeah, look at it.
All right, hold on. The white people smile. I spelled the wrong. Oh God! You know what? I blame the Office for this.
They've always done this.
They? What are you?
Well, okay. Let's be a little more accurate. Okay, this is the Anglo smile.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Found a picture of a dog doing it.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one too.
You're well versed in the Anglo smile.
Mm.
I mainly stick to the Anglosphere, if you know what I mean.
Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-saxophone.
Anglo-claxon.
Like the siren.
Can we talk about how Japanese people call like a car horn a klaxon?
I have not encountered this.
It's nuts.
I mean,
it's like the normal word for it.
I know. I mean, klaxon to me has a very specific sound.
Sure.
And a car horn is not it.
No. But apparently that's what it is for Japanese people.
I would love it if Japanese cars just all sounded like that. Like they had klaxons in them. Would make traffic a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I'm resolved, by the way, to never drive a car again in my life.
Good, yeah, me neither. And by again, I mean I never drove one to begin with.
There you go. Fuck cars, am I right?
They're terrible. And you know what? The funny thing is, and you see this on online discussions now, which is where we live.
Yeah.
Because we can't move from our chairs anymore.
I live at 1-800 Online Street.
We're obese vampires. The idea of anywhere, and this is a uniquely American thing, of course, but the idea of anywhere being remotely traversable without a car is immediately like a socialist liberal shill campaign.
Yeah, the fact that it's an issue to begin with.
Right.
It's like, no, I want to be shackled to my car all the time.
Right, yeah. No, I need to drive my car through Walmart parking lots and pay $10 a gallon. You know, how else will I know whether I like the new president?
Wait, what?
Yeah, because whenever gas prices change, like immediately the president's blamed, which is
the president just has an abacus in his office. He's like scheming to raise gas prices by 10 cents.
Right. Biden's like, that'll show those Trump tards.
I was about to say veto my bill, will you? But the president's the one that vetoes the bills, so never mind.
Right. maybe like his alter ego,
Bo Jiden.
It's like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation where the president is vetoing his own bills.
Biden wakes up, gasses up again. He's like, "No, what did I do?"
That is that's someone needs to hire us for something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out on the street soon.
That's $1 billion idea right there. That's like a
all right, how about this?
A solid Mad TV sketch.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. President.
How did we get on this rant? What were we talking about?
Minor mysteries.
Gas, walkable, cars, driving cars.
Now you'd be forgiven for thinking that this is the first hour of the podcast, but no, it's actually the second, where we talk about Star Trek.
I hope one day, some third party analyzes the politics of this podcast.
What are the politics of the Readier Room?
I mean,
to any outside observer, they have to be extremely conservative.
Well, the funny part is, like, to any outside observer, it's like, no, not really, but to going by the zeitgeist of today, then yes, I guess it would be, wouldn't it?
Well, actually, I hate both sides equally, so...
But that's kind of the funny bit, because I don't know, I think
this is everyone's stupid.
The only remotely conservative thing we do is we toe the line with the
a lot of racial humor.
Yeah, sure, but it's all in good fun.
I'm having
it's
fun.
Satirical.
That's
satirical.
It. There it is.
Right? Yeah. It's satirical.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's satire.
All right.
What are you satirizing? Nah.
you know all those Star Trek crew members.
Chuds?
Yeah. All the chuds. You know, Star Trek was always woke.
That's right.
That's what they say.
Do you ever see people that are, I don't know how to put this, vaguely centrist, and then they go on to say, it's like, you know, I don't really support any candidate, but I do think, and then they just list like all the right talking points or all the left talking points.
No, not really. No.
That's kind of where we're at. We're like, yeah, you know, I don't support anybody, but at the same time, do you ever just want to kill all black people? Is this just me? No, I'm not taking sides or anything.
No, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to do that.
No, but that's the equivalent of where we're at.
Listen, plenty of my favorite Star Trek characters are black.
Yeah, I was the first black Klingon.
Like Tuvok.
I do like Tuvok. I like him for his work in iCarly.
What else was he in?
Spaceballs.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
And Star Trek Voyager.
Wait, was he really in iCarly?
He was the president, the principal in iCarly. The school principal.
President?
Yeah, he was... which is kind of related. Oh, Michelle Obama was on iCarly.
Oh God.
She played herself.
Did you learn that from the what's his name?
Yeah, you know I did.
Yeah.
I learned that.
Oh, what, you mean you didn't watch iCarly?
I mean, you know, in my Twilight years, yeah, I busted one out to iCarly like any other sensible man, but I didn't say I watched it. Mostly
Well,
to
what'd
the
you think
Tim
about
Russ
Twilight?
scenes. Oh, my Twilight years were long and dense. A lot of rereadings and rewatchings.
Were you an Edward guy or a Jacob guy?
Oh, total Jacob guy.
Total Jacob.
When he imprinted on that child, my heart skipped a beat.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Really? This conversation?
The word imprint as a verb when talking about a grown man and a child is extremely disgusting.
All right, let's when he groomed that child, my heart skipped a beat.
That's better.
Now, what about you? You're probably a Team Edward guy.
No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, maybe.
I know you're a big The Lighthouse fan.
Yes, I do love The Lighthouse.
Which is, would put anybody on Team Edward. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed The Batman.
Okay. Now, is his contractual obligation that he can only star in films that begin with the? Is that like a more artsy thing?
Maybe, yeah.
Because he started in the Twilight, and now he's The Lighthouse, the Batman.
The wonderful thing about films that start with the is that alphabetical order ignores the.
Right.
You know?
But my anal retentiveness does not, which makes for
Sure.
a very bad situation.
Just an entire shelf of thes.
Well, I refuse to buy any movie or book that begins with the for this exact reason.
Which is why you've never bought a single Blu-ray release of the Star Trek.
That's right. Now, when those things are gifted to me, I take some post-it notes and scotch tape and blot out the.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, I mean, because it was a gift, I'm not going to throw it out. And I can enjoy Wizard of Oz, right?
Now,
and Godfather.
Does Scott ever ask where his tape went?
I pulled that heist decades ago, and I've been living on the same tape since. He might ask, but I mean, I flew the coop. How am I gonna know?
Oh, you flew the coop.
You get in, only a fool returns to the scene of a crime.
Mm-hmm.
They say that it's always done, but no. Only an abject fool would do that.
I can imagine it's very satisfying, though.
You would fall victim to that allure.
Did you see that some footage just dropped, as the kids say?
I'm more of a handage guy.
A man in, I think it was Oklahoma, just like took an axe to some 22-year-old guy's head.
Jesus, was it shot in 4x3?
What's the?
I'm just trying to ascertain if it was square footage or not.
Am I missing something here? Is this a bit?
Like a square foot. You know what?
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. There you go. So,
4x3.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, I didn't see this. So a guy took an axe to a kid's head?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of
Avant-garde.
It's a camera that's kind of like set up like near the ceiling, and it's looking down, and this guy's kind of like I think what the story is this guy came to this 22-year-old guy's house to buy a used axe or something, and he's picking up the axe, and he's like looking at it, playing around with it, and then he looks at the kid, looks at the axe, and then looks back at the kid and just drives it into his head and kills him.
This is almost like a bit. I mean, just going to buy a used axe is inherently funny.
Right. Well, first of all, Look, if I don't need an axe anymore, I'm not selling it to someone.
An axe isn't something you buy for a limited time. Like, no one says,
Right.
from now on, I won't need this axe. My axing days are over.
Right.
But I wish we could hear that guy's inner monologue as he's looking back and forth. He's like, you don't think. But what if...
I can't find it right now, but I'll find it for you later.
Oh, thanks. I do really want to see that.
I thought so.
Yeah. Just the blood splatter and...
Yeah. So anyway, so throughout all this, all this mystery, this minor mystery,
chicanery.
Right? Troy is starting to get headaches.
Yes, which is really also a half-baked plot point of this episode. And she sees herself in the mirror? That was this one, right?
Yeah, she looks at herself in the mirror and she starts screaming because she's so horrifically ugly.
Right. It wasn't me, Worf. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Great acting.
Yeah. It is half baked, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that this Troy subplot is underdeveloped. That's all of them. But there's a number of elements in this episode that really don't amount to anything, and you don't notice it at the time because it's being carried by this data mystery that you are interested in. And that pans out more or less, but once you go back and think, what was this Troy business about? It's not satisfying at all.
No, definitely not. I mean, the idea of her seeing herself in the mirror outside of having been possessed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is the idea that the possession's lingering and she's still under the influence?
Sure. But then, as you know, nothing really points to that.
No.
So
no.
It's well outside the period where she would be under that influence of the aliens. So yeah, it's really dumb. And really very I mean, that's for a mystery. If we're talking about this episode being a mystery, it's completely misleading.
Yeah, it is a bit of a red herring, isn't it?
But like even worse than a red herring, it just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, the dreaded blue herring.
The pickled herring.
Red herring sounds like an old-timey guy.
Red herring sounds like a counterpart to blackwashing.
Does this have to do with the Irish?
Well, it's like, like if in The Little Mermaid, like Ariel was originally black and then they cast her as a white red-haired woman in the live action film.
They're red herring the characters.
Another example of red herring.
Right. I don't know. My mind has been broken by Red Fox to think of Red as just a guy's name.
Wait, who's Red Fox?
He was the titular Sanford in Sanford and Son.
Is he fantastic?
No.
Oh, he was Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Chris Chan really liked Red Fox. Plus another comedian whose name I forget.
Chris Chan.
Yeah. The one they all came for.
If you draw it, they will come.
I was trying to think of something to do with Field of Dreams, but like the title, but I couldn't get there in time.
No, I know.
Yeah, you know I couldn't get there. You have any fucking faith in me?
Usually when there's a dead silence, is because one of us couldn't get somewhere.
That's true.
We're sitting here thinking about what if I could make a really epic joke right now?
I mean, the times that you hit make up for the times that you don't.
Sure. Yeah. This is what we're really doing is we're doing crowd work right now. That's what it really is.
Okay. My new strategy is anytime there's a pause to just say yes and. Yes and.
Yes.
And.
And the bear.
Yes, and the bear.
Man, this episode is a shit heap, actually.
Yeah, it's really. What's the opposite of substantive? Insubstantial.
Yeah, sure.
It's nothing to it because we can talk about the data stuff, but there's no. It's not complex. Like, we know what happened. Data forged this thing, and he doesn't weave a web of lies. It's just once they begin to suspect him, he just shuts down. So there's not a lot to speak of.
Right? Yeah. He does. He's like, oh, I can't do it. I can't answer that or whatever. Every clue he leaves is just not something Data would do, and that's another issue. Why would he grab a planet, an image of a planet that is so well known that like Geordi knows it?
Which in and of itself is amazing, given just how many thousands, millions of planets are in that database for Geordi to recognize any of them.
Right. So that one could go either way. Either Data's stupid or Geordi is written ridiculously.
No, there's some problem with the writing, whichever it is.
They do eventually discover, though, that they were out for longer than like half a minute.
Because of the plants. The plants grew.
Is it because of the plants?
Well, that was the main thing.
I mean, so who says it? Is it Geordi or Riker? Why didn't our beards grow?
Geordi, right? Because Riker's beard has grown.
Riker beard, yeah, sure. And I do want to like that's a little bit of a bittersweet reference here.
What could have been?
Yeah, because no doubt this would have somehow tied into the episode, but this was an idea that we threw out pretty quickly, I guess. Where the Enterprise would be growing female clones to cover for the crew's homosexual tendencies.
What I remember is that that Seinfeld episode aired around that time, and we didn't want there to be any kind of confusion of cross-pollination.
Right. Because and at the time, we were talking about having Jason on,
right?
Although that didn't materialize for quite some time.
Yeah.
But
I was always debating between having Jason on and having Jason in, and neither came to be.
Sure. Yes, and.
So, where are we in this wild episode?
Fuck this.
Why didn't the beards grow?
Why didn't the beards? Yes, and we were talking about this off mic. Why didn't the beards grow?
I just picture Data walking around shaving every member of the crew.
How much does your beard grow in a day, do you think?
Well, the term 5 o'clock shadow exists, right? So a little bit.
Oh, I guess, huh?
But I think that's more... It's kind of like how... I don't know. Have you noticed a general decline in how hairy the chests are of people, of men these days? Yeah,
definitely.
I think that maybe facial hair might be experiencing a similar waning.
Yeah. There's definitely an increase in neoteny.
Well, that's certainly a word.
Yeah. I just wanted to pull that out.
What is that, bare-chestedness?
No, it's well, like for example, Asian women are probably the peak of neoteny, where you kind of go through your life looking like a little baby.
Okay, all right. The etymology of the word is starting to make sense.
Sure. So, yeah, I think everyone is kind of trending towards that, except for a certain.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it.
Well, all I'll say is that it's a true pedophile's paradise, like that Coolio song.
New Weird Al song just dropped. Been spending most of our lives living in a groomer's paradise.
Nice.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And,
what are you talking about? Yeah, so the beers didn't grow. Okay, I guess I concede because it was a different time.
Yeah. And again, you can imagine Data just gently shaving everyone.
That would be hilarious. That's another good
That's like a good
this is
DVD
this
extra.
is just
10 minutes
filled.
of Data's day around the ship when everyone is out
Data's
cold.
day 2. This is filled with like parody potential. This episode.
It is, which I don't think speaks well to the episode itself.
It's not a glowing review. But they do eventually find this out, and so the climax here is if I remember correctly, and I probably don't, but they just repeat the same mistake they did the first time, right?
Exactly the same.
Right.
Only now it's worse because nobody's warning them, or somebody's now warning them not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they go back. The entity possesses Troy again. There is absolutely no argument made as for why this should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the alien acquiesces. And again,
which
Picard
we
does
discussed.
his ridiculous play director thing.
Chop chop.
Oh, it's so dumb.
He should have started quoting Shakespeare.
Did we watched that episode, right? With what's on it?
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Yeah, lest we forget.
So Trek-brained, you can't tell when things happened.
What are things? My mind is just
I'm
degraded
stuff.
so much. So then the episode just ends with the assumption that even though nothing has changed, they will do it right this time.
Yes, and they do it right.
There's a deleted scene of Picard taking a baseball bat to Crusher's plants, just to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, what happened to the plants?
Oh, we put them in stasis and changed them on the molecular level so that their chronotons are set forward by a day.
Not bad. You know what? They probably had O'Brien touch them.
Alright, O'Brien, you need to touch these for exactly 2.3 seconds to offset their growth for the next day. Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh man.
Just gonna keep referencing that until it becomes a real episode of Deep Space Nine. O'Brien at the concentration camp.
It's like a lot of work. Oh man, we gotta get back into our OpenAI fan fiction writing. We had dreams of sharing them on this very podcast. But
yeah, one day
never happened.
Oh, it'll be its own spin-off podcast. It's adding to our network, the Readier network.
Right. Maybe we can get that guy who's mad at us.
Yeah.
For our lack of professionalism.
I can't imagine how anyone could make that complaint. Look, sometimes the best time to record your podcast is 5 a.m. on a Monday, and there's nothing about that can change.
Sometimes it's 5 a.m. on a Monday, and 20 minutes before that, it suddenly becomes 7 p.m. on a Thursday. And that's just how it works.
You gotta roll with the punches. Don't fight the tides.
Is that like a song lyric?
It could be. I guess it is kind of punchy. Like the
sounds like a naughties pop like pop rap fusion.
What do you know about my naughties pop?
Which that itself sounds like you're talking about like your ethnic grandmother's father. My naughty's pop. Don't you talk about my naughty's pop like that.
Either that or her homemade soda.
Yeah, sure.
I go through all this effort to gift you a bottle of my naughty's pop, and this is what you have to say? Oh God. Okay.
If we cut out the laughing and dead air from this podcast, it would be like
2
30
minutes?
minutes shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in the entirety of it's 2 minutes. But here's the thing: if we don't laugh, then the audience doesn't know when to laugh. Exactly.
Sure. Right. And if they don't know when to laugh, then this podcast becomes racist.
No, we went over this. It's satire.
Right. It's satire.
Right. I think I've spoken to you about this. The rapid proliferation of the word satire to mean anything comedic rather than actually satirical.
Now, do you have any like hard examples of this, or is it just a?
I would have to just plunge Reddit comments. So let's say somebody makes a joke article that's like not the Onion, because the Onion can be satirical at times, but just something that's a joke, right? Like, here's my comedy sketch, and people say, "Oh, it's satire. It's funny satire," when their usage of the word is anything that's not serious.
Sure.
And I don't recommend this, but if you browse Reddit long enough, you'll find people doing this, mostly because it's a website made up of, grooming target-aged people. Or children.
Target-aged people?
Whatever. Anyway. It's not a good spot. And they don't know what satire is. These kids, they don't know satire.
Yeah, kids are dumb.
Right. They don't know satire. They don't know eating babies. It's like the only satirical work I know.
Yeah, I don't trust anyone who was born after Pokemon existed.
Right. The brain chemistry altering seizure that all of us endured puts us on another level that they'll never reach.
Yeah, it was a life-changing event.
Right. Now I can truly see color and sounds.
Now I can truly see you pee.
I think that's going to be the peak for this episode. How many saucer steps would you give clues?
We didn't even get to the end of it.
No, we did. They get to the end.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they fix it. And
it's
then
such
Data
a non-ending.
Data does that smug, self-satisfied face.
Right. Oh, Captain, I think we should send a probe. Picard says, "Okay," and Data says, "Nailed it." He winks at the camera.
Wait, so he's gonna send a probe, and then what? He's gonna pull a different image?
Yeah, it's like, I won't make that mistake again.
And then Worf is gonna be like, "Well, that's the planet next to Kling."
Did Worf have any lines in this episode?
Ooh, I don't know.
Bring up the script.
I can check right now.
Every other principal cast member did, except Wesley.
He had 30 lines.
30. Wow, that is a lot more than I thought.
But many of them are like, "Captain."
On screen.
Yeah, lots of shields and weapon systems unaffected type stuff. Shields and weapon systems fully functional.
I'll tell you, that was a cushy job.
I know, seriously. All you had to do was like read the fucking computer.
Right. Well, it wasn't a real computer, but yeah.
Oh, you mean like outside of canon?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Worf's job.
Oh no, that's good too. I mean, Dorn. Like the amount of acting he had to put in.
Sure.
Very little.
Yeah. really shows in season 3 of Picard.
Oh, he's a pacifist now.
Yeah.
When Worf is introduced, he's like in a lounge listening to classical music.
Which I guess is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
But only if they do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I totally that's like what they would do in like a parody revival.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's a weird cross section of it being obviously parodic, but also fitting in with the rogue characterization of Worf as a romantic that pops up occasionally.
Sure. It's but you saying that just made me realize that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Is just do like a tongue-in-cheek revival.
Oh, that would have been a lot
Where-
better. You can't play, geriatrics in space straight.
Right. So it's like, yeah, they're all kind of just caricatures of their old characters. Maybe some of them are subverted a little bit.
It's funny
And,
because the finale of TNG, where future Picard is has space Alzheimer's, actually hits that kind of note better than just they're old, but they're still on point
Right.
action stars.
Right. No, this is all. It's not even surprising at this point. It's just we know this. Anyone who's listening to this who has like half a brain cell knows this. It's all the product of a Funko Pop driven fucking consumer culture.
Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad.
Anyway, for Saucer Saps, I'm thinking, jeez. The more we talked about it, the more I dislike it. I would say, on a very good day, 2.5, but probably 2.
I couldn't go lower than 2.5. I could potentially go to 3. I think it's got stupid writing and issues, but at the same time, it's consistently mildly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Until you get to the end, it's like there is some semblance of a mystery. But again, you have Data who, like you said, he shuts down every time, and it's like, well, yeah, the first time it's like, oh, there might be something insidious going on. By the 5th time, it's like, well, Jesus, can you do something different?
I think the first watch of the episode is fine, and then it gets retroactively a lot worse once you know the ending.
Yeah, definitely.
But because going through it the first time was fine, I could settle in around a 2.8, maybe a 3, maybe a 2.5.
Yeah, fine. All right, yeah, 2.5 then. 2.5 for me.
So you got any trivia for me?
Yes, and
trivia?
All right. So, this episode we have
clues. Got it.
We have a character who is named for the first time.
It's not that Latina ensign that showed up for 2 episodes and didn't have sex with Geordi.
No. She was supposed to be around for a while.
Yeah. Lopez?
Which is a shame, because I kind of liked her. Was that what her name was?
Maybe. Hernandez? Sombrero? Anyway, a character that's named for the first time, but has shown up before.
Shown up before and will continue to show up.
It's one of the nurses, isn't it? The other doctor.
Ooh.
It's not Ogawa. I thought she was. Maybe it is.
It is.
Oh,
it
nice.
Is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. She's given her first name, Alyssa.
Yes.
This episode. And as always, this is sourced from our friends in Memory Alpha. Alyssa Ogawa is given her first name in this episode. Her last name was not mentioned until cause and effect.
Okay, so this was the cause, the first name, and the effect was the last name.
Then we get the effect, yeah.
I think that you asked a very similar question about Keiko, and I first answered that with Ogawa.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. Which, further proves that you're a racist.
I mean, they all look the same. It's satire.
They're all Chinese people masquerading as Japanese people, so...
which is weird that's and remains today to be an accepted form of diversity.
Right, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. You know, the Zoomer 16-year-old Korean chick can get mad that white people are wearing kimonos at the fucking Boston Museum of Fine Arts because it appropriates the culture that's a stone's throw away from where her great grandparents lived.
But somebody in China, you know, a Chinese person rather, playing a Korean character or a Japanese character, it's all the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah. You know, it's all the same because we all have slanty eyes and our grandparents talked funny.
It's Oriental.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
it's
the
sickening.
Orient.
It's sickening.
Not that I expected
you know,
so much from TNG 80s, 90s.
No,
that's part of the course, but the fact that
totally,
it still goes
but it's
on
like
today.
Nowadays, yeah. It's like it's just, and I guess we have personally have a vested interest in this, but still, fucking, it's such a double standard.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, I don't mean to sound like Matt Walsh here.
Well, you're a little late on that one.
Huh. He doesn't even know what the difference is between a Chinese and a Korean are.
He doesn't even know what a woman is. That's going to do it for this episode of the Readier Room. Before we go, I want to thank our sponsors, Denny's, home of Moons Over My Hammy, and the Grand Slam, and also Pep Boys, home of the 15-minute oil change. If you go to either of these establishments and say the word Readier at your point of purchase, you'll now actually get a 20% discount. We've been able to up it after a couple of years of loyal partnership. So go say your thanks to the Pep Boys and Denny's with a nice Readier purchase. Join us the next time where we talk about more Star Trek The Next Generation. And until then, be careful out there on the road and take with you from us a nice and pleasant and safe stay ready.
The troublesome little man-child.
I stand before you defrocked, condemned to be a member of this lowest of species.
Thank you, Ensign. Engage.
Do you consider yourself superior to us?
Should have told him to mind his own damn business.
But I stroked the beard thusly. Do I not appear more intellectual?
Computer, freeze program.
Have you never dreamed of climbing inside the bottle?